Yo, what is up guys, I'm here hitting up with a new CZN video. Today with the first character guide. I'm covering Renoa today. Let me know in the comments down below who you want to see next. I will cover that unit. And hey, in case you're new, subscribe. Now the first card we have is the Echo of Sorrows. This is the one, the basic card, which creates the Dirge bullets and has different epiphanies. So what I don't want to cover for these guides are divine epiphanies, because those don't make much sense because they are super RNG and they're always very strong. I tell you what is the best in slot, and if you can get a divine epiphany on him too, really good overall. Now here for the Echo of Sorrow, you have basically two options here. It's either the skill one, which creates 3 Dirge bullets, or the Echo of Sorrow, the green one with the upgrade, which is the strongest one. Outbreak of War, create 1 Dirge bullet card. At the start of a turn, create 1 additional Dirge bullet card. You activate that one card, create a bullet, and every single time every round starts, you create another one. So you over time cycle a lot of Dirge bullets. Instant Judgment card. Now the best effect for the Instant Judgment card, which I find most useful, is also the upgrade card. At the end of the turn, 200 extra attack to the enemy with the lowest HP. It just plays into her whole bullet design, damaging build. So this is the best in slot in my opinion. Then we have the Ballad of Pitch Black. There's also a couple of options here, but overall there's really just one. Either it's the mark effect, mark to the target for each Dirge bullet in hand, or move up to 3 Dirge bullet cards from draw pile to and graveyard to hand. So you just cycle and get your Dirge bullets back to hand, so you can just spam Flower of Devoured Fate. There it also really depends on what you want to do, but like either you go for the discard, this is the first one, discard up to 3 cards in hand, create that many Dirge bullets just for Dirge bullet generation, or you just wanna have this card here on the right side for all Dirge bullets in hand gain retrieve. This is more of a late game type of card, so once you have a lot of Dirge bullets already, you know, buff them up with this one, because once they disappear they come back. Very strong overall if you combine it together with the last card, which is the Last Ditch Assault, which does damage, and the more Dirge bullet cards you have in hand, this card will deal more damage. Now when it comes to the ideal partners, Renoa, there are a couple of options I want to talk about here. Janet one, which in my opinion is most likely her best in slot. This one gives plus 9% crit rate of the assigned combatant's attack cards costing 1 or less, and when the assigned combatant uses 5 bullet cards to generate a random handgun bullet card, the generated card deals 50% damage. And as well as the ultimate, the ego skill, which is 150% damage to all enemies for 1 turn, plus 20% designated combatant bullet cards damage. So if you plan a big turn, then you can activate the ego skill, trigger it, buff up all your Dirge bullets in hand, do all the shenanigans. Maybe you have a retrieve, so you go with Last Ditch Assault, do a big hit, then you get all the cards back, and then you end your turn, and then you do even more damage. Okay, so this is for this one. But since she does a lot of hits, the crit rate, the crit chance also helps, and since you have so many bullet cards, generating even more bullet cards helps with her. The alternative to that would be Tiara. Her effect is, if there are 10 or more cards in the graveyard, the assigned combatant attack card damage is increased by 15%. When the assigned combatant discards a card, plus 25% attack card damage for 1 turn. And then she has an ego skill, which in my opinion isn't the greatest. It has like 200% damage, so basically it does damage and then plus 20% damage by the number of graveyards. So it has potentially a lot of damage. Like the more you have in your graveyard, the stronger this effect becomes. But it's also kind of weird to get this effect going. The bottom effect should mostly trigger at the end of the turn, so I didn't play that much around with that card, but it should mostly trigger because once you end your turn and throw all the Dirge bullet cards to the graveyard, now you discarded your cards, now you activated the 25% attack card damage, and now you should get the boost. But here this one is very situational, like you need to have 10 cards in your graveyard pile first to actually get that 15% bonus, and depending on your build and play style, that could work better or less. Now for the 4-star options, Karoti is the best in slot because at the start of the turn, the damage of 1 attack card is increased by 20%, and when the combatant generates a card for the first time, their attack card damage increases by 20% for 1 turn. Since you're generating a lot of these cards, as I said, if you have the upgrade card, every single turn you are generating a Dirge bullet, and based on that you have that effect active all the time. So this means you have basically a 20% boost activated all the time, and for an attack card you also have an additional 20, so this gives you 40% damage boost. And then also you have the ego skill. For 1 turn increases the damage of cards generated by the assigned combatant ability by 20%. So you can actually get a lot of damage with Karate, so Karate is a really good card overall. And the alternative would be Akkad. So when you have Akkad, the damage of the bullets is increased by 18%, and when a combatant lands their first critical hit, bullet card damage increases by 21%, because this card is level 4 for 1 turn. And here the ego skill actually gives a crit chance bonus, so if you time it correctly you can dish out quite some damage with it. For a big turn, this has actually very huge damaging potential if you time it correct. If you have very high crit rate on her, you activate the ego skill and you can guarantee basically from your 10 hits or something plus a crit hit first, then you get a huge damage boost overall. But I would say Karate is overall more versatile and more reliable. Now, in terms of her potentials, you want to focus on the unique card, and obviously you want to get all the crit rate and stuff, and basically I think the potential one is a no-brainer. Activate everything you can, right, just to maximize her damage output. When you get her over 20% crit rate here with this potential, you get an additional 5% crit rate, which gives you even more chances. Now, when it comes to her memory fragments, there are 2 ways you can build her, in my opinion. So for the 4 set, you go with the Conqueror's Aspect, which boosts the crit damage by 35% for 1-cost cards. For the offset, the 2-piece set effect, you either go with the Executioner tool, which gives an additional 25% crit damage, or you go alternatively the Blackwing, which gives 12% attack. Now, if you have high crit rate, then I would say go with this, because that just easily gives you an additional 60% crit damage for your build. Now, how do you want to play her? So the left side is fixed stats, which consists of flat attack, flat defense, flat HP. Ideal, Desire, and Imagination is where it becomes different. So what you want to have here is on the right side, so slot 4. Slot 4 you want to have crit rate. Slot 5 is where you can either choose between attack percentage or elemental damage. I would say use the elemental damage, void damage. I need a little bit more testing to see what scales better, but usually the multipliers work this way, that if you combine different multipliers, that's the best damage output. So for now I say void damage here, and then on the last slot, which consists of attack, HP, and defense, you want to get attack percentages. So crit rate, elemental damage, and attack percentage, okay? And then with this effect, you boost your crit damage as well, and then you have an overall solid build for your Renoa. Now, for the build we're using is something I found, which in my opinion is incredibly strong already. And this is where I also talked about Divine Epiphanies, those change, right? So this here, the Flower of God, for each discarded card, which costs 1 plus 40% damage off next card, draw 1. 0 mana, draw a card, and for the card you discard, you just boost the damage of your cards. Then we have the Echo of Sorrow. I duplicated this card, so I have it twice in a row. And since it starts in my hand, we basically are getting 2 bullets every single turn. Then we have the Instant Judgment for the extra attack, the one card that moves up, and then the Last Ditch Assault as the card we always keep in hand for bullet regeneration. And then obviously we have the Annihilation, because we always get a weird card. And then for the build, we have extra attack damage, because her Dirge Bullet is all about extra attack, so this one helps quite a bit. Then a shield, and then this one, the Eye of the Gluttony, is 30% extra damage, 30% damage. And then at the end of the turn, 30% chance to exhaust 1 card in hand, which is actually not too bad, because at the end of the turn you want to have a card in hand that usually is not that good. So you can, for example, if you have the Annihilation Shot, which I have right now, I keep it as my last card in hand, and then maybe with 30% chance it just disappears, so I don't even have to bother with that anymore. Now, when it comes to the team building for Renoa, Renoa is a unit which is very flexible overall. You can use many different team partners with her together. So for example, you can use her together with Cass and Nia if you want to have some sort of more cycling through the cards, finding the right cards, stuff like that. You can use that team. You can also interchange things. You can use Ray with her, you can use Veronica with her, you can use Mika with her. Renoa is a very flexible unit in terms of who you can pair her with, as long as you provide her some sort of either buff or searching for her cards or card regeneration. This is what you really want for her. Now, the team I want to show you for today is Renoa, Ray, and Nia, because why not? Now here we are starting out this fight here for the showcase. Now we have a couple of options. So obviously we want to start off with creating all these dirge bullets, right? Because why would you do anything else? Then let's activate Nia's Card of Curiosity. Let's see what we can get. Yeah, we will pick up the rally, put down the action, delay the action of the opponent, and draw a card. And then you know what? Let us draw even more cards, because that's always a good thing at the end of the day. And then we can just discard whatever we want at this point. We can just already discard one of our dirge bullets here, then create another one, and just keep the pulling going. There we go. Boom, boom. And then let's use the G chord, buff our moral. And this is basically now where it becomes steamrolly. So here you can see we got 2 more bullets, right? And now we also, let's activate this card first. So our damage is boosted for one cost cards. Usually you want to start off with this one, because I just didn't pay attention to it. But the late one, if it's 0 mana because of the late effect, you do want to activate this card first overall, right? We will activate this card. We don't need any of the M-Furies here. So let's discard the M-Furies because we don't really need them. And then we can just activate that one card for healing if we need it, and then end our turn. And she just hits boom boom. Now we just keep more cards going, right? It just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Now let's activate the Dark Condensation and buff up the Last Ditch Bullet card. The Last Ditch Bullet. Here we go, 1200% crit. 2000 damage, and that was not even anywhere close, guys. Keep that in mind, not anywhere close. Now this is very strong. Instinct Ignition, I have it on upon card creation, Grand Random Epiphany. So if you don't have epiphanies on certain cards, you will now get it. Then we activate the Instant Judgment as well. Boom. Then we delay them, draw an extra card here. You know what? Do the exact same thing again. More drawing right now. Then snack time. So let's activate this card here, get our 4 moral buff up, and now we wanna ego skill rock and roll here. Let's check what we have in deck. We have 5 bullet cards right now in deck. So let's activate rock and roll. So we will discard all our bullets right now. And by discarding our bullets now, it will actually trigger this effect, and you see the damage output we are dealing here, and then we end our turn. And then more damage is coming in. So you can see how 4200 damage. Like, and that's not even close, guys. You see we're not even doing anything here. You see this? You see this? Like, I wasn't even trying. And the boss is just too weak. I am fairly certain we could have easily hit 10k damage here. Now give me the right setup, 8 bullet cards, stuff like that. Easily could have hit 10k plus at this point in time, right? So just as a quick showcase, and you can tell by this showcase that there was even a lot more potential, but I just wasn't able to steamroll to that point in time just yet. But yeah, guys, this sums up the full guide to Best Girl Renoa. Let me know what you think, and as always, guys, if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. I really appreciate it, and see you with the next one. Deuces.